Hello and welcome to Electripreneur Secrets, the Electricians podcast. We're here with you 5 days a week to help you master sales, simplify pricing, and deliver premium level electrical service. Gosh, that last one's important, Joe.
Ben,
Kind
you
of feeds
sent
the
that
other
one.
two. I've got a lot of energy today. It could be the jokes we just had in the pre-show or all the ones we're getting right now from people voting that we get this podcast started. How are you doing today?
I'm having a great day. It feels like for anyone else who can experience this and relate, it has been back to back, feels like forever, but I just love it. Like there isn't a part of me that's like the work isn't worth it. Because honestly, when I hear people put out posts saying, "Hey Joe, it's a great day to have a great day." Or when people are like, "Hey Clay, it's better to be present over perfect." I'm like, "Yeah. Okay, people are hearing what we're saying. We're making a change and it's worth the effort."
I love that. It's powerful. It
Mhm.
empowers us to keep going, keep driving. This is episode 92, by the way.
Which is wild.
I've been trying to figure out what to put in episode 100.
Oh, we're gonna have something fun.
It's got to be big. Do you think that it could be the Dan Antonelli interview that we're going to do later today?
That's a very interesting thing. I
Kick
think it'd be
Charge
pretty good.
100?
Kick Charge 100.
That would like be a good launch into 101 and beyond, wouldn't it?
I'm down with it.
We also had an awesome interview yesterday. Joe, you weren't able to be privy, but I got to tell you, interviewing with Roy Gomez, one of our former clients, and his big journey from starting zero-man, one-man shop, doing it on his own with a budget his wife gave him of $5,000 to start this thing.
Mm-hmm.
The mentorship he received, the backstory behind it wasn't an easy youth. Me and him had some shares on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You and I have some shares on that. Many of our listeners understand a little adversity
Mm-hmm.
can feed a bit of entrepreneurship, and Roy is no
Mm-hmm.
exception. Now on track to do 3 million, which is doubling up on last year. Man, he had some great things to say and share, and I cannot wait to share that with our listeners as well.
I'm excited for that too.
Okay, so today though we've got a great one. We're talking about scheduling, and as we said in the pre-show, pretty good chance this turns into a bit of a series, but we're going to do what we can do to fit in as much value as possible. As you were saying, present, not perfect. We got rid of all the fancy shit, guys. There's no plan here. Things could go absolutely wrong, and there's nothing we could do about it. We're still going to post it. You're still going to hear it, and you get to laugh at us the whole way.
And you know what, though? It's actually not bad, though. Because if you think about it, sometimes not having a perfect episode actually makes you more human. Because when I listen to podcasts and I hear everything's perfect and it's cut and you can hear like there's gaps in, I'm like, what are they really saying? Give me the full clip. Let me see who this person is.
Yeah.
And I'm putting out my nerd energy constantly.
Yeah.
So like people know I'm weird and you're loved by all. So what can you do?
Loved by all. Everybody loves me. I'm just a little leprechaun. Not quite. I don't know about that. I'm a flavor. I'm a flavor of the week. We were talking about your nerdiness before the show though, and I think that deserves recording. I think that deserves to be, in the stone, carved in here, etched in time on this podcast. Sure. So I want to let everyone know Joe actually rapped to our group chat one day.
Oh my God.
We were having, actually, I think Brian Burton inspired it from Waste No Day. I'm pretty sure he did a 90s hip hop post and was like, okay, who's number one, guys? These verses, it was the whole thing. And that carried over to our group chat, and Joe rapped Biggie to our clients.
Yep. I will double down and say that Biggie is the GOAT. I will defend that against anyone. I still say that Shady will take him under any circumstance, but for nostalgia, Biggie, come on. You can't go better than that. His flow is just next level. It's so beautiful how it connects. I'll dig into that as much as you want.
And Russell says, here we go again. Here's the thing, you guys. I appreciate 90s rap. I can appreciate the beefs. I get it. There's a lot of mystery around that for some. Some of us know what happened. Yeah. However, was it the right place in the group chat? That we'll never know. I feel like I went into damage control. I'm like, Joe, I don't know, man. I appreciate that you had that drive to go out and perform for those guys, but not everyone's a Biggie fan. It's a little
Not everyone,
dangerous,
not
but
not
right
not
there.
everyone appreciates what his lyrics are about. So I can, I
So
can, I can chalk that up to me being a little socially awkward sometimes.
from
Most
rapping
time.
Biggie to yesterday wielding a lightsaber with incredible sword technique, there's a lot we got to learn from you, for you.
Well, thank you.
All right, man. Should we jump into scheduling stuff?
Let's do it. I'm for it.
We've been messing around a little bit here, guys. Took us a bit. Ironically, here's the thing, we're late again this morning. Our own schedule is pretty crammed. As I said in the pre-show, Joe was literally typing while fixing a cell phone mount. And I made that joke before. I'll say it again. I didn't even know you had 4 hands, but that's literally the level of effort we get in to just come in and do this every day of the week, 5 days a week, that is, right? Here to help you
Mhm.
guys. So, to begin, please know that this is a present over perfect exercise. Scheduling is not something that really ever, at least I feel, becomes perfect.
No,
Not
never.
in service, there's no way, and not in construction, not in projects either, because
Mhm.
as they say, if you want to make God laugh, tell him you have a
Plan.
plan. That's funny, right? If you want to make God laugh, tell him you have a plan. What does that mean?
Pretty much, from my understanding, is that we believe that we want to do certain things. We're like, I'm going to do this. And the ultimate goal is whatever higher power is there is saying, actually, that's not what we're going to do. And I'd like to take a little bit of moment and say why that's so good. And actually, that's a blessing.
Sure. And I'll take a sip from my coffee while you do.
There you go. The benefit is there are some people, like let's say, like when you were a kid, was there a certain car that you wanted? Like, do you like, okay, like I liked,
Yes.
yes, what is
Can
it?
I answer this? Can I just
Yes,
answer it? Because
do it.
honestly, my brother was over the other day. If anyone's following my Facebook profile, I just posted a picture of an old 88 Cadillac d'Elegance. And when I was a kid, I wanted a big two-door Cadillac. So my brother came over and was literally like, "Did you just get 15-year-old Clay's dream car?"
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I like the big fancy boats with wire spoke rims. Go ahead.
So let's say that's the case. Let's say 15-year-old Clay is like, I want a two-door Cadillac Coupe de Ville, right? You want something beautiful. Okay. Let's say you're 40. Would you still want that car? Would that be the car that you're like, that's what I want? We don't know.
Piece
It
of
could be
nostalgia, maybe, right?
maybe, but would you want an 88 car in 2030?
The reality
Probably
is,
not,
with
right?
technology advances, it's painful to drive anything that doesn't have Bluetooth integrated in the stereo at this point.
So I believe that life and whatever divine mission is out there is happening for us. And that if you didn't get the thing that you wanted, it was because there was something that you're actually destined for coming for you. Like I wanted, when I was a kid, my thing was I wanted a Yamaha Ninja. I remember I wanted to ride a motorcycle so bad until I remember my boss at the time ripping his leg off on a motorcycle accident and having to get a prosthetic.
Scary
And then I
stuff.
remember saying, I'm never getting one again. But if I had gotten what I was praying for, I could have been in the same situation. Theoretically.
Like,
Yeah, theoretically. But
and for all
instead,
our motorcycle riding fans, please be careful out there. I know since getting my license and doing that whole ordeal, because I'm kind of in the same boat, it wasn't actually for me. I do enjoy adrenaline. I enjoy pushing myself, but I'm really not an adrenaline junkie. And I felt the added danger in my life when I was on a bike. Made some
mhm,
choices that I didn't appreciate and decided ultimately I shouldn't ride. But I learned a lot in that training and riding, and I definitely leave space, if you know what I mean.
mhm.
All right. Bit of a tangent we got off on here, but absolutely. You want to make God laugh, tell him you have a plan. So scheduling is kind of like that. It's never perfect, but having a process can really help you out, guys. I want to dig into first and foremost, is there even a schedule for you right now? So if you're listening and you don't have leads, you don't have things on the calendar, or the schedule is not
Mm,
full for this immediate future, and that future we would suggest is 2 weeks, right? At all
yes.
times, we want to be booked 2 weeks.
Can I say why?
Yes, please.
All right. 2 weeks is the magic number. Believe it or not, anything that goes over 2 weeks has a drastically higher chance of the customer getting cold feet and pulling out. Now, it's not that, and even let's just say, sake of argument, It's not that you sold them something that they didn't need, and therefore they finally thought about it, and now they don't want to do it anymore. I couldn't get them. That's not it. Let's say you offered them something that they actually wanted. After 2 weeks, they've already removed themselves from the problem. Sometimes with some people, the purchase actually fixes that emotional need that they have because they're like, oh, I'm moving it forward, not the actual solution. So in their mind, they got the closure they needed for the thing. And then when something else happens, I scratched my car, something happened to the house, the sub pump broke, whatever it was. Now they have a new thing that they need to chase. That's the new thing that's top of mind. The old one was already handled technically in their mind. 2 weeks is that time frame. So if you can say my schedule is absolutely no further out than 2 weeks, you'll find that your cancellation rate will literally get slashed in half.
Wow. And I'm feeling like the need for a statistic there. I wish I had a percentage to throw out. Do you know a number? You don't have
Not
to
one that
guess.
I'd be willing. If I had to guess, I can only tell you what I've experienced myself. And it felt like, I don't want to say like a quarter, but I'd say more like a fifth to a sixth of the calls that I would get that we would book would end up dropping off regardless if they went over that time frame.
What if they had already given a deposit?
That's the problem. When it really depends on how serious the situation was, right? Like, let's say, sake of argument, you purchased a generator. Okay, I just fronted out $4,500. I fronted out $6,000 for a system. It's already ordered. I'm coming from directly from the Kohler factory. It's getting here. There's a restock fee for that, obviously. But for other things, like if they give you a deposit and it's only been within 2 weeks, you're in damage control mode. And unfortunately, that means that you're probably going to have to give some money back. I'm not the kind of guy that sits on a contract and says, you signed, you're screwed. It's no, we're not doing that.
Back.
No money back. It's like, no, that's not how it's going to work. I would rather be the kind of person that when people want to work with, they're like, you know what? You're a good person and I'm going to refer you even if I'm not working with you.
So the first question I have for the audience just came to mind, guys. If you have a number in your business, please share that. If you're with us in the Facebook Electripreneur groups, engaging with the rest of our VIP members, then throw it right there in the chat. Let us know what your experience is as you book out beyond 2 weeks. Now, problem number one, now that we've got this anchor point of what we're working towards, 2 weeks, problem number one would be, well, I don't have 2 weeks worth of work. Maybe I don't have 2 days worth of work. And I just did a post on this the other day. Joe, are you okay with me diving in with a little bit of passion on how to blitz as an electrician and fill your schedule?
I would say I would honestly be insulted if you didn't. I would love when you share your passions, especially when it's coming from a depth of knowledge. So by all means, dig into it.
I want you to integrate with me. So here's the format. We got limited time. I've got a long list of about 12 things, I would say, 13 things to go through. So feel free to insert a comment after each one. I'll leave a little pause.
Sounds good.
All right. More conversations equals more work, period. I'll say it again. More conversations equals more work, period. The tendency that people have when they have open schedule is to work on price books, is to start writing processes, right? Is to look at the website.
Organize the van.
Sweep the floors, right? All of those things do have a place. But the problem is they're not income producing activities. And that means they should come after the things that produce income. Out of that entire list, mucking with software and mucking with price books seems to be the number one thing that I see literally sinking ships in our industry.
It's such a shame that it's the case because people are looking at it like, oh, it's going to solve a problem. But really, I feel like people are just trying to hide from the actual problem, which is the uncomfortable truth of having to reach out and start conversations.
What is the problem we are trying to solve? If your schedule's not full, a price book will not fill it. I promise you that. Working on a price book is not necessary. We did a whole episode called F Price Books where we
Mm-hmm.
explain the exact reasons why we need to forget the fancy shit and get back to basics. Another plug for Mike Michalowicz here in his book, Fix This Next. He gives the business hierarchy of needs. That number one need is sales. Without sales, you don't even have a business. You've got a promotion that one person bought, right? Or two people bought, or 10 people bought. If you don't have scheduled clients ready to do an exchange with you, you currently do not have a business, and this needs to be fixed now. Did I say that with enough critical impact?
I honestly saw like a period between each sentence. Like, this is what we are freaking doing now.
Yes, we need sales on the calendar. So I'm going to give you guys the process, the key to this, to fill this thing to 2 weeks and have demand beyond. All right. So here's the list. If you have club memberships going, first class passes, you should be doing club membership inspections right now. Get back into the homes of the people that already trust you. Those are leads with intent, and they have intent to purchase more. How do I know? Because they already bought once before. Agreed?
Yeah. I can actually say one other thing to that as well.
Please.
So in addition to that, they already have intention, but you're also continuing a future sale relationship, right? Why would someone buy a membership to anything? Because they feel like they're going to get more value than what they're paying for. But if you're constantly checking in, like, you know what? I just wanted to thank you for the ability of serving you and your family at the highest level. We're actually offering a free complimentary whole home safety inspection and maintenance that we're just offering as a thank you for being a first class pass member. Wouldn't be the best time I could schedule that for you? If anything, when it comes time to renew and you gave them extra visits, why would they not want to renew them?
Absolutely.
So you're getting the next sale too.
Absolutely. Follow up the unsold opportunities. We literally give a script away for this called the FU script. Anything that you do not know where the outcome is should be followed up. In fact, anything in your business that has a question mark at the end of it, that's a loose end that should be tied up. We need to know, Joe, right? One contractor we gave that follow-up script to increase the number of sales on unsold opportunities by 18x on average. Whoa.
It was beautiful. I mean, I'm not going to name drop the guy specifically, but it was going from like, hey, I'm getting like 1 or 2 a month. Like, that's the most. That was like the big week. And then he was like, yeah, I'm consistently getting like 18 per month.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane how effective it was.
Again, more conversations equals more work, right? More conversations equals more offers. And that's what you need right now. So let's take it a step further. Follow up on the unsold additional options. These are customers that paid, they just didn't take your top option. Follow up wholeheartedly, ask about the service you provided, ask how things are working, and follow up on those unsold options.
In addition, we can actually set ourselves up for success on that. So let's say, sake of argument, a customer show them the 6 options. They're excited about one. They're like, I'm going to take option 5. This is what I can go for right now. Wonderful. It's a great choice. At some time during the call, you can figure out and be like, okay, let's say money was no object. What of those choices do you feel was the most value to you? Is it that it's a not ever, or it's just a not now? If they say it's not ever, nix it. It's done. If they say it's just not now, okay. Well, I'd love to serve you at the highest level. Would I be wrong to want to put it on the appointment just to follow up and just call, let's say 6 months from now? Would I be wrong to do that? Very few people are going to say, no, you can't call me in 6 months. They're going to be like, yeah, sure. So since they gave you permission, you now can reach out and say, hey, I saw you on my list and I just want to let you know I was thinking of you. And then you can go into whatever from there.
Absolutely. You know those 10-point inspections that you're doing, visual. Go down your customers' 10-point inspections that you've already done and call on the deficiencies that you found. Go down the list of services that you've provided in the last year or two and call on any upgrade items, trends that you see for things you used to install that now have upgraded smart technology XYZ and offer the upgrades. Go ahead.
You're setting me up, man. I love it. This actually was very, very effective for any one of us that's in the cold climate areas. I'm going to tell you something that's awesome. Anyone who's ever installed de-icing cables, you have to understand that normally there's either a switch that you're throwing on or there's a GFI that you're turning on and off. And most customers don't want to deal with it, but don't realize they don't want to deal with it until they've had to deal with it. So after the winter, you can follow up with them and offer a actual automatic control. There's humidistats that you can use. There's actually a way to track and see exactly when it's going to start melting to cause roof damage. And you can actually set the parameters to say it's going to come on before that time. And now it's completely hands off for the customer completely. And because it's fresh in their mind that they didn't want to have to do it all the time of remembering and tracking and keeping on and off. Like, hey, I was thinking of you and I thought there was a way that we could make this easier for you. There's actually new technology just came out. Would you be open to it?
Huge. Okay. Should we keep going?
By all means. I'm sorry if we keep interrupting, but like, I love it.
This is a powerful list because I know what it feels like when you're there and you got nothing. It's overwhelmed. Where do you start? What do you do? Do I start banging on doors? What the hell do I do, Joe? We're giving this to you guys in an order of intent as well. Your most likely sales are in the top of this list. Here's one not a lot of people do. Warranty inspections. Every electrician I know offers warranty, and almost none of them follow up to inspect in order to continue to maintain, honor, and even offer to extend that warranty through this inspection. More conversations equals more offers equals more work.
I love it. That's great.
Block takeovers in the Good Neighbor program. We've got an entire episode on this. Market the problem that you're currently solving. I was talking about this in our marketing class yesterday. The current customer that you're dealing with today is maybe the biggest asset in today's business. They're giving you specific language about the specific problem that you're currently solving, and almost no one is going to the van taking notes on that language or utilizing your observations in the simple language they provided you to turn around and market that problem. If you only did that on every job you ever did, your business growth will be unlimited. Because if one person's having a problem, Joe, what does that mean?
Well, if one has, more probably do as well, especially if we're in the same neighborhood. They were all built around the same time. They probably had the same new construction contractor going and do the whole thing. So if there's an issue in one home, wouldn't it make sense to at the very least check? So like as an example, I mean, how many times do you guys see Federal Pacific panels? The whole neighborhood was built in the 60s. Okay, great. I've got one, I see aluminum wiring. I've got one that's got a Zinsco. I got one that's got a Federal Pacific. Whatever you find, wouldn't it make sense to say, hey, we were in your neighborhood and we actually found that when the builder actually did something, whoever was the original builder, we're noticing some pretty major safety concerns. So as a result, we're actually going to be going through the neighborhood just to make sure they're not present in your home either. It's complimentary inspection, completely free.
All-star level on that. Want to find additional neighborhoods that are suffering the same issue? Now go to your Facebook page and do the same post that you just ran with a similar conversation as what you just did on the Good Neighbor program with that same problem in that same language. Interrupt, engage, educate, offer. That's the framework I want you to use for that post. Interrupt them with a statement, are you, if you, do you. Engage in the conversation in their head. Speak to the problem and the experience they're having. Educate them about your framework for a solution, and then offer some value piece. Offer to have a chat with them about it and how you can fix it. That's it. Clear as mud?
Clear as mud. It's interesting experience. You threw me for that one.
Yeah, it's a bit of a joke. Okay. Guess what? Social media, as we said already several times, more conversations equals more offers equals more work. Social media is just a big conversation, Joe. We're having a big conversation right now. Every post on every page in every group is a conversation. And you've got an opportunity to go join them, be helpful to someone, and have them learn more about you and what you do every single day. but it's not so direct that people are willing to do it. That electricians are doing it because you're not able to connect the dots of this conversation gives me a job today. How? That's not the way marketing works.
Mm-hmm.
That's the old lazy way of marketing. The number of things that will actually move a person from not wanting to call you to calling you are like right around zero.
Mm-hmm.
Unless their house is on fire and you happen to be next door and it's an electrical fire,
Mm-hmm.
it's few and far between. You're waiting on unicorns. That's why everyone puts all their eggs in one basket on Google and SEO, because you're trying to grab a person at the moment of deciding to fix a problem and hoping they'll pick you from the list.
It's not going to work. It just doesn't seem like the right way. I'd rather be on top of the mind. And like, honestly, that's why I loved having our vans parked on major roads. Every day you're driving to work, you're going to see the van, 13-foot billboard every day. No ad needed to go up. It's just there it is. And hey, when you think of something, hey, let's think of that company.
Absolutely. We're getting near the end of the list. Second and third degree marketing is where most of your purchases, your scheduled jobs will come from. What's the second and third degree? Well, it's not your dad. It's your dad's doctor's daughter, your dad's doctor, your dad's lawyer, your dad's contractor, your friend's lawyer, your friend's contractor, your friend's minister, your friend. It's in the second to third degree. You don't need to pester your immediate family and give them deals to get work.
Mm-hmm.
All you got to ask is, who do they know that you should know? Hey, I'm an electrician. Do you have any friends that don't have an electrician? Just have conversations with people, and these second and third degree networks will open up. Social media is a superpower for this. But if you want another place to, go to networking meetings. Have
Yep.
conversations with new people and become an established, trusted authority in your network, and work will follow. Here's why networking meetings actually do work. I've never met anyone who says, oh yeah, we're part of a BNI group, but we've never had any work from it. Because everyone paid to be there and they want work too.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're there. It's actually a really selfish endeavor.
Mm-hmm.
They all want to have a conglomerate of people that have an exchange together.
Yeah, I want you to refer me, and I'm going to refer you, and we're going to take care of each other. And if you're not giving me any work, you're not any valuable to this meeting.
That's pretty well the entire list I have prepared for today, Joe, on
Mm-hmm.
what to do to fill that schedule. There are
Mm-hmm.
other things. We didn't even talk about yard signage, van wraps, another Dan Antonelli plug. Cannot wait to interview this fella,
He's going
right?
to be
And
awesome.
what that does, working on that branding, doing action posts on social media. The list goes on and on. It's not to say don't do Google. It's not to say don't do any website or SEO. It is to say that that's just one avenue. And if that's all you've got going, and then you go home and rest on your laurels, that shit won't fly.
Mm-hmm.
The only time to not do all of the above that we just covered is when your schedule's got 2 weeks full consistently.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't even mention asking for the review, the repeat, and the referral at the end of your sales call.
That's true. And that's
Anything
a
else to
great
add to
thing to get
that?
into. Honestly, I feel like this is the only thing I'm going to add is that we are definitely going to have to make more episodes on this. Like, that's really because
We only got
as
through the
we're
first
going into
part,
it,
filling it.
yeah, it's like we just started off and it's like, nope, nope, nope. All right, now we're rolling. Okay, cool.
Okay. Well, there was a ton of value in this one. So tomorrow, what are we leading into then?
Well, I feel like we need to continue the additional ways that we can get work because you're right. I do feel like yard signs are extremely important and people need to know why they're working, but also how can we introduce them to the customers? Like there's literally a situation where I actually insist that the companies that I work for or that the ones that I hire is what I'm trying to say, give me yard signs so I can put them on my yard because I know how effective they're going to be.
Okay. So tomorrow we're going to deep dive for the first part a little deeper into filling that up. And we also didn't talk about talking to other contractors. The
Mm-hmm.
counterintuitive, no, you should never do this. All the stuff that's in the middle, the fuzzy stuff
Mm-hmm.
that I think a lot of us electricians scare people away from. But I
Mm-hmm.
just want to touch on the reality of business. If you don't have 2 weeks booked out, you're not safe.
That's true.
We need to book your schedule out. Yes, there is preferred work. If you're not there though, and maybe you're just beginning, or maybe it's a rough time, you just need to know that you can put profitable work on the schedule and fuck what everyone says. That's not your priority right now. This isn't the club of don't get embarrassed by your peers. This is the
Mm-hmm.
club of I want to be successful in my business. And so I'm willing to do whatever it takes to fill these 2 weeks up and build relationships and continue this trend so that I never have to worry about this again.
I really feel like that's incredibly important. And I want to just touch one last thing before we pass it. Is that
Got
fair?
it. Yep.
I don't think there's enough emphasis on the value of being comfortable in embarrassment. Because the thing is that there are so many things that will keep you from actually rising to an occasion and doing it. And more often than not, it's not fear of strangers, it's fear of your immediate circle, your friends, your family, your neighbors. It's not the stranger you're worried about getting embarrassed by because that doesn't matter. So the thing is that when you're embarrassed, it's important to know, why am I really afraid of this? What is the real actual outcome that I'm afraid is going to happen? And who do I think is actually going to point this out? Because if you think about it and you know it's not your stranger, then why would your friend insult you? Why would your family insult you? And if they did, are they really your friend? Are they really your family?
Fear holds a lot of people back.
Mm-hmm.
And as an example, there's a quote I'm thinking of, maybe butcher it, finish us out before the action items. Fear steals more dreams than failure, and that there are more dreams in the cemetery than there are people.
Wow. Okay, that can we say that again? Hold on. That was awesome.
Fear steals more dreams than failure, and the evidence is that there are more dreams in the cemetery than there are people.
People give up on their dreams because it takes effort, and it's easy to complain and it's easy to give up, but it's hard to persevere.
It's scary.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. Guys, we brought the heat. This is how to get to 2 weeks of schedule. The next task, it actually gets easier as you go, because as you run a play, as you have the process to deal with this and continue to make the most of every lead, you can get to a place where you never have to deal with this again. And we call that training for
The slow season.
the slow season. Buddy, what do we got for action items? You want action or all star? They're pretty
Honestly,
laid
don't have a
out today
preference
anyway.
today. What was
Hey,
that?
they're pretty laid out today anyway, man. We just gave a shit ton of actions.
Yeah, I would say the most bare minimum action. Like if you're going to say, what can I do immediately right now? I would say the first thing is that if you do not have 2 weeks worth of work, or let's go even further, you don't have work for tomorrow, I'm going to ask and insist that you call all of your existing customers. Just call them all and just say hi. Just call in to check in, see how everything's going. Just wanted to make sure that things were going good. That's the bare bones action to start a conversation with someone. Would that be fair for a bare minimum action?
100%. Absolutely love that. What I love about it is the moment you put a script in front of it, the moment you put any intention behind it, it gets scarier. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want you to be scared. I want you to fucking check in with your current customers, and chances are they might ask for something more anyway, just out of convenience.
Mm-hmm. By the way, you're here. I actually noticed that my downstairs basement light for some reason is not working. Completely unrelated to the generator you installed. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, sure, I'd be happy to come out. You're a first class pass member. In fact, that means all diagnostic calls are waived. I wish you would have called me earlier. I would have been right away.
Yeah, definitely. Am I all star then? Is this it?
Go for it.
Mic drop moment. Mic drop moment. You know, I don't have anything crazy planned today, but we're just going to add to it a little bit.
Okay.
Listen to this again. Follow the list in order. Leads with intent. Again, more conversations equals more offers equals more work. No one can fault you for offering more. Do
Mm-hmm.
not fear someone seeing it coming. You're trying to run a business. Everyone sees it coming. Trying to appear like you don't have an offer is also kind of insane for a business, isn't it?
Yeah, like you just randomly happened to visit someone, like you had no intention of doing anything with anyone. You didn't even bring anything, nothing.
Fearing the no will be fearing the ask. Because the reality is, guess what? You're following people up. You're not going to get 90% yeses.
I have an all-star.
Oh, this isn't good enough for you all of a sudden?
No, I have
No.
something right.
Okay,
You
go.
actually inspired
Take
me.
it. Steal it, Joe. Steal it.
No, I'm saying you inspired me, man.
Okay, go.
Okay. The thing is you said people are afraid of the no, right? They're
Yep.
afraid of getting a no. I'm going to challenge everyone who's afraid of a no to try to get a no.
Get to know. Love it.
The reason why is that if you're trying to get to a no, more often, if your intention is correct, you're going to end up with a yes. Because people don't want to say no. They want what you have, but usually you're the one who folds before they do. Try to get a no. Stick it out. Just be like, just to confirm, we're definitely not working together today, right? There's no intention you have of working. Well, I wouldn't say that. Okay, great. Conversation's open. Go.
I love that. It's great. Okay. That's it, guys. We just gave a ton of energy and a ton of great ideas. And if you can't find work or you know an electrician who can't seem to get their schedule full to 2 weeks, you should share this with them. I feel like that's what a good friend would do. What would you say, Joe? If I had no work, would you share this with me?
Damn right I would.
I would fucking hope so. I've got no work. Help me, man. Help me.
Mm-hmm.
We just gave a comprehensive list of how to get that. And maybe they'll listen to the next episode too, where we're going to break it down a little further and then follow up with getting into double conflict, double scheduling conflict. That's what I'm trying to say.
Correct. We'll
And
smooth
how to
those out.
maintain it at 2 weeks, what to do when it's getting up 3, 4, 5 weeks, and some of the changes you'll need to make in your business to deal with those problems next. And guess what? They're good changes and they're going to benefit you too. You get to make a choice. Joe, this has been another great episode of Entrepreneur Secrets. I'm glad you guys could join us. We were so highly engaged on the Facebook group today. There's a ton of great comments. RJ, thank you. Rob, thank you. And everyone else, Russ, thank you. And guys, we're here with you one more day this week to help you master sales, simplify your pricing, and deliver premium level electrical service like no one else can but you. So come back and get some.